All right, guys, welcome. This is Matt from BuyLowSellHeinz. I'm super pumped to have Romer from RomerTheRoamer with me. Now that's your handle on both Instagram and YouTube, correct?
Yep. Yep. Correct.
All right, cool. Yeah, I'll definitely put some links in the little clips below, whether this is on Instagram or YouTube, to all of his stuff. So tell us about yourself, man. Who are you? What do you do? And tell us a little bit about your journey.
So my name is Avery, and I kind of became well known in the book community because I lived in my car for a while. I just recently put the seat back down. This is the first time I've been in my car talking about living in my car. This is cool. But yeah, so I got it out the back. If you look back here, I can give you a tour. Um, Basically took everything out. Took out the back seats. There's a dolly back there and Home Depot box. But yeah, basically my bed was right here, and I didn't know shit about FBA, and I thought I knew a little bit about FBA. I didn't know shit though. So I went on the road with the idea of just, the beauty of FBA is you can pack stuff up and ship it out to Amazon. You don't have to have 1,000 books in your car. So I had about 300 books in my inventory. I was kind of doing, I didn't really know what the hell I was doing, but then I started living in my car, and I was doing a trek across the country. So I'm driving across the country. I'm hitting up Goodwills. I'm hitting up libraries, going everywhere. And then I end up in LA, and I got an email from Reezy or something, or like I saw an advertisement that there was a book meetup, and I was like, well, shit, I'm already out here. I might as well go. And I went to that conference, and it changed everything. I found out about library sales. I found out about, just so many like little tiny things when it comes to the book game. And it took me to like a whole nother level. So, yeah. And I mean, just being able to go wherever, that was a luxury as well. Being able to, like, if I didn't like a city, I could go to the next one. If there weren't really good books, and I wasn't doing this just for the books, I was doing it, obviously for like my own enjoyment and to like see fucking America. But it was, I mean, it was awesome. If a city sucked, I went to the next one. Which people struggle with when they're in a town that just has no books at all. That's why you're spoiled, living in New Hampshire, New England. Like you're sitting on a gold mine up there. I almost wish I never, because I did another trip to New England, and it was just like, I couldn't believe, like, I'm still selling. I checked my seller app, and I have SKUs for every state, and all the states up there are just like every single day bringing in sales. It's ridiculous.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't mean to tread on your territory, but I'm definitely gonna have to look into it a little bit
Oh,
more.
do it, man. That's not my territory. I wish it was. I seriously consider moving up there just for books.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah, no, I mean, I loved watching your thing with Reezy last night because it definitely gave like a huge insight, as far as like what you've done in your travels. And, like for people that didn't watch it yesterday, the man had a canoe strapped to the top of his
Yeah.
vehicle traveling around, man. So that's pretty crazy. But yeah, no,
Yeah.
I'm with you as far as that. I definitely like, I'm envious of the fact that you've traveled, So like I'm at that point now where like I've, especially a lot of like with my RA stuff, that I've kind of not tapped the market because like obviously it's every day there's new stuff, to find. But being able to see, like I'm actually going to Pittsburgh this weekend with my buddies to go watch a Bruins Penguins game, and I told them like, hey, we're gonna spend an extra day out there. It's on me, but I'm gonna source on the way out and the way back.
Hell yeah. Are they gonna help you?
Oh yeah, yes. He actually
Oh
sells.
yeah.
My buddy that's going with me actually helps me with a lot of my eBay orders. So I'm like, hey, let me teach you with some of the Amazon stuff while we're like on our way down there too.
Hell yeah. That's awesome. Do you use
Oh
Brickseek.com?
yeah. So the
Okay.
funny thing is, I used Brixie before I even got into this. Just because somebody was telling me, I forget what it was. They got some like appliance, just like a regular home appliance or whatever, and they got it for like $20, and it was normally like 200. And I'm like, what? And so I looked into it. I got the same thing for $20 because there was one like 2 miles away from me, like a local Walmart, and I was like, this is awesome. And I started buying like higher price things and just posted on Facebook Marketplace and like flipping it. And I kind of like I did that. I love going to
So
like yards.
do you like map out your whole trip
Oh
before
yeah.
you go as far, or like do you know, like, okay, I'm gonna go here and pick up like 3 Monopoly for millennials, and then I'm gonna go to the next place, or do you like go in these places and like look on the clearance section for stuff on sale? You know what I
So
mean?
very honestly, probably 85% of the stuff that I find is actually not in the clearance section, which
Okay.
I try and tell people you gotta like You know, when people say, even with books, I'm sure you know this, scan everything. It's the same thing, you know, with RA as far as that stuff goes. So yeah, I map out what I'll do is, you know, I'll go north one day. I've got probably 8 Walmarts that I want to hit, you know, all within like a 35, 40-mile radius. And I'll plan out using Brickseek, using like I follow like local Facebook marketplace things that people have found these things, and then I'll use Brickseek to look it up. And like I've got a game plan going in. I mean, it's Brickseek, so like I definitely you don't always find everything you're looking for by any means.
Right.
You know, inventory areas, that kind of stuff. But you know, if I've got 5 things I'm going to in that store, I usually find at least 3 of them. And you know, I'll go in and I'll look for other things too. I'll check the clearance. You know, a lot of people just go right to the clearance section, but like I'll walk around the entire outside of, you know, the Walmarts, those end caps. That's where, you know, a lot of clearance is, but it's because they've got so many of one thing they can't even put it in the clearance section.
Right.
So I was gonna compliment you. You've been wearing your seatbelt like the entire time. I'm like, man, it's good to say, he's good to go.
I'm ready to go to salsa, bro.
Yes. Hey, anytime you got to leave too, let me know, man. I know you're a busy guy.
I'm good till like 7:30. I'm good.
Okay, cool.
Yep. All right. That's 8:30 your time, right?
Yeah, 8:30. I'm an hour ahead. That's cool. All right. So what do you consider? What was your like aha moment? Like you were doing this and you were like, wow, like I could do this full time forever.
Honestly, probably at some point just consuming Caleb Roth. He's probably the biggest guy that influences me out of all the book guys. I consume so much of that guy's content, and I just know how well he's doing with eFlip. And when I went to the conference in Los Angeles, I walked in an hour late and I sat down. Caleb only knew me because I sent him so many Facebook messages, like just questions, like just random questions. And he knew my face because my face is on my profile picture. And I just walked in and immediately turned around. He's like, "Oh fuck, here's this kid." And he was like, the only seat left was like right by him. So like he sat me down. And then the girl next to me, the girl to my right, she was a huge online arbitrage person too, and she couldn't believe that people went out and like sourced. Like she couldn't believe that like people would go to thrift stores. She was like, because it didn't make sense to her, because just like per hour how much money you're making, and it really makes me question it a lot of times too, because what she did was she got a $25,000 loan from just like, I don't know, from a bank or whatever. She got a $25,000 loan, and she made like 18K profit like her first time doing. She didn't even use eFlip. She just did this shit on her own. Like she hired a VA to find textbooks at seasonality based on Keepa.
Yeah.
And she bought them all during the off season and just flipped them. And she's in graduate school and she was doing it like super part time, you know? So that was probably for me, like, and I know Caleb's numbers are ridiculous. Like I don't even know them, but like I don't even want to share what I think they are, because I know he doesn't want them out there. But like I just know they're super high, and like just they have potential to be so high. Like anyone who takes it seriously can just like skyrocket, you know? So.
Oh yeah, no, and I mean, like, I look at my numbers, and sometimes like I talk to people, and a lot of my like I look for products that are 100% ROI, and people are like, wow, how are you getting things so high? And like I've actually got a Goodwill like by the pound near me, and that was how I first did like my book haul. And I'm sitting here scanning some of these, and you know, and it's 3,000% ROI, and I'm like, wow, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. So yeah, I definitely, even for like what I do, I've looked into like OA and that kind of stuff, and it's definitely, I think it's more gearing towards like wholesale when I start doing, you know, OA.
Resellicious?
I follow them on Instagram. Yeah.
Yeah, she's big into OA. Like she's getting more and more towards OA. So, and there's so much opportunity just from like your living room.
Oh yeah, no, there really is. I mean, I definitely, when I first started, I was probably 99% RA. But I'm probably, I mean, 8 to 10% OA now, and it's honestly, it's like refillables. Like once I found something that, you know, residual products that I could order again, you know, because honestly, some of my best sellers are non-clearance items, are like items that I literally just found in store just by scanning, just, you know, like everyday products, not necessarily like super big name brands. Because obviously a lot of those times like those markets are super saturated. But I mean, like I had a backpack that I found at Walmart. I was buying it when it was regular. I mean, it ended up being clearance at the end of the season, but I've sold over 550 of the exact same one from Walmart.
Damn.
Yeah, like I've cleared out the entire Northeast. If there's any left on Brickseek, it's because their stock is wrong.
Damn. That's insane. And so is it like you just got to keep it on the hush hush when you find something like that?
Oh, yeah, it definitely is. You know, like it's one of those like you really want to share it, but obviously like where you got books and then it's one off when you get that kind of stuff.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, you definitely want to share it, but it's literally just hush hush. I mean,
feel like
honestly, like
sets are kind of similar to that, but sets are even still hard to come across. But like, I feel like that's like the closest thing book guys have to like the whole retail arbitrage thing, where you're like the BOLO thing. We like if I share like a really common set like Harry Potter, for example,
yeah,
and that's a hard ass set to build, but if you can build it, you can sell it for like $90.
right.
And a lot of people just always pass them up and never pick them up. But
Yeah, exactly. And then if you try to sell them individually, you're making 50 cents or you're losing
exactly,
$1.20 a
yeah,
piece. Yeah.
yeah.
Cool. All right. So what would be your advice to somebody that's never started? They've heard things. What would be like the number one thing you wish you knew that you wish you could tell yourself when you first started?
Um, if we're talking about like pure, uh, like books,
Just
I'd
books.
say definitely go on booksalefinder.com and just get a taste for like a library sale. Then I would just say like map out every single location around you, because most people aren't going to travel like me. But and it's actually like it's very good to stay in one place, because then you know what places are good. Like, you
Yep.
know what I mean? Like if I go to a different city, I have no idea if that Goodwill is ass or if it's actually a good Goodwill. In my city, in Nashville, and even surrounding cities now, I know what places are good, so I don't have to go to the shitty stores. When I travel, I have to grind through the shit. So
Yep.
starting out, just grind through the shit, like literally map out and make your route efficient. Use like Google Map Maker. Just type in Google Map Maker, and you can create a route and hit up all the places on the way. So hit up, Goodwill, hit up a library, hit up Salvation Army. Like leave no stone unturned,
Yep.
and it shouldn't take you too many days to explore your area. And then map out really what's bringing in the dough, because it's only going to be about 20% of the stores. It's a 20-80 principle. 20% of your efforts are going to bring in 80% of your results. 20% of the stores are going to bring in 80% of the profits.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's one thing, like those two things right there. And then just create systems. Like I don't think I was ever short on that, but hire a virtual assistant. Like there's no reason not to. Like you can pay him $2 to $4 an hour. Like my virtual assistant literally just emailed me during this conversation that she booked the plane ticket. So like, I don't know, just little things like that. Like,
Yeah.
I freed up time to have an interview with you instead of me sitting here, connected to the Wi-Fi trying to like wait extra 5 minutes trying to get this ticket going through. I can just delegate that to her.
Yeah. No, that's a lot of people definitely don't take advantage of that. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's so cheap to delegate that part of, or anything online you can delegate to a virtual assistant for so fucking cheap. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous. Now, when it comes to delegating like packing and sourcing, that's more expensive because you have to pay Americans to do the work.
Right.
But yeah, so
Gotcha. Nice. And then one of the things I wanted to share, kind of backtrack a little bit for people that don't know, when you guys go on Book Sale Finder, always go to the friends and family days. I have definitely learned that, like paying those couple extra bucks to go to the friends and family days. For the couple that I've gone to, paying that extra has like
you're talking
increased
about like the
profits.
preview sale.
Yeah, the preview, like the preview day where it's
Oh
like,
yeah, 100%. Like most library sales are only good for the first hour. So like the first, especially where you are, because or like there's competition everywhere, but there's like fierce competition up that way. Like I was in New Jersey the other weekend, and I brought my friend for the first time, and people were like fucking crawling over each other, like throwing books around. Like one of the dudes running the library sale, like I can't even do a New Jersey accent, but he was like, "Hey, calm down!" Like trying to get everyone to stop, and I'm just like, "Oh my god!" Like I was trying to act chill, but my heart was pounding too. But yeah, after the first hour, it's all about the non-barcode books. So what I do is
yep,
I stack the books up like use this book, for example, like let's say this didn't have a barcode. I stack it up so we can see the cover, and then I pull out the Amazon seller app, and like I'll have a pile like this tall, and I'll just
Yep.
blaze through all of them.
Nice.
You know?
Okay.
So, but after the first hour, it's almost pointless. As if you have a high floor profit, like my floor profit's like $5 right now. I'm experimenting with that, but I'm not gonna find shit after an hour. So it's all about punching in that ISBN, or I'm too lazy to punch it in. I'll just use the seller app.
Yeah, I think the seller app usually pretty good about picking it up as far as that goes. But
Yeah.
I think the first one I went to, I mean, it was just a little tiny town around here, and I saw, probably 4 or 5 other people with, their scanners ready to go, Velcroed on, carts. They had, people with them. So it was pretty intense, like the first time.
Yeah.
Where when I'm at a Walmart, I don't think I've probably one other person with like an Amazon seller app, but it's not like people are fighting over each other to get good product.
It's because there's a time factor on it. It's only good, like everyone's gonna scan the shit, so you might as well scan it as fast as you can. So everyone's just trying to get theirs while they're there.
Yeah, no, definitely. All right, so what are 2019 goals? If you don't mind kind of sharing.
2019 is 500K. That's 500K in sales.
Yep.
So that's a huge shot for me because I think I'm at 30K. I'm a little bit over 30K, and it's February, so I really need to pick it up. But yeah, I mean that's the goal right there is 500K, and everything else will fall in place to make that happen. Like obviously things need to happen in order. Like there has to be a ton of delegation, way more delegation than there is now. Probably a lot of consignments just because I don't have the capital, and just networking like a motherfucker. So that's what's gonna make this work. It's what's not gonna make it work is me just going around to thrift stores. Like that's part of it, but I need to do more. I need to get more people going out to thrift stores for me. I need to get more people involved, get libraries scanning books for me, doing college buybacks. Like there's like an infinite amount of things I can do. It's just nitpicking and focusing on the ones that are actually going to yield that type of profit.
Yeah, no, and I get it. You're literally just kind of doing the same thing as far as finding the shit stores. It's finding what process works, what process doesn't, and kind of focusing on those. So cool. Yeah. So what do you? So like, are you planning on expanding into any other kind of thing, or you think books is your thing, or?
The end goal has always been private label for me. I've always wanted to go into private label, and do like outdoor equipment. Like actually, like I have a private label idea about a canoe, and like most people don't say their private label ideas, but I'll go ahead and say it just because like it's not one of those like ones that's like a sweet spot in the Amazon marketplace to where like if I just slide in with a generic item, it's gonna work. This is more. It's more of creating a brand around something that maybe there's got to be a market for it, but it's not like with the private label. Like what makes private label work most of the time is there's like this very sweet spot of like low competition or low competition, high demand, and when that's there, you can just kind of slide in and you can do all right. But it'd be nice to find something like that, but I want to create like a brand around like outdoor equipment. So like I want to be able to like use, I don't know, think creatively and make products, and I feel like I'd really enjoy that because like the part of books that I enjoy right now is thinking of systems and ways of getting more books. It's not necessarily finding the books, you know what I mean? It's creating systems around it, and I feel like I'd really just enjoy the branding process of private label and creating a brand rather than just private label, smacking something on and just, for a while it's good. It's almost like retail arbitrage. It's exactly like the replens. Like, is that what you guys call them?
Yeah.
The replenishables. It's exactly like that. Like it's good for a while, but then a lot of other people are going to find out about it. But if I created like, like let's say that fishing rod, if I created that, then the brand around that I can expand to maybe more products, left, right, up, down, like maybe, backpacking stuff. Yeah. So that's the end goal. But books, I just got to master this first because every time like I'm getting really good at this. So I just need to get like a solid stream of income where I can like step back from it and be good.
What do you think? What would be your? I mean, obviously, you know, everybody's just kind of scratched the surface as far as like Amazon stuff. Like, what would be your ultimate end goal? Like, where would you be? Where you're like, you know what? Like, this is where I wanted to reach. You know, this is like that would be my end goal. Like, what is
I
a
don't
million
know.
in sales, 2 million in sales? You know what I mean? Not necessarily like a sales number, but
I don't think I have an end goal. Like I just have a year goal.
okay.
Um, but I mean, lifestyle wise, I definitely want to be able to travel wherever. And I'm kind of like, have you read The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho?
No.
Like there's a saying. He's like, people make up excuses not to travel, and money is like the main excuse. So, but the quote is, fear of traveling isn't caused by lack of money, or lack of traveling isn't caused by lack of money. It's caused by uh, fear, you know, and just inaction. Like that's what causes not traveling. So, like, I don't believe that you need money to travel. Like that's not a valid excuse, because
Yeah.
I was living in my car traveling all of America for cheaper than, you know, paying for an apartment back in Nashville, like way cheaper. but that's definitely back to the point, like the end goal. Like I want to have flexibility. I want to be able to travel. And I guess really like what's driving me is I know I'm going to have kids one day, and I know that I'm going to want to like take a step back from like this grind, and I want to have something in place that'll, you know, I can go, you know, be with my kids on Sunday and not have to worry about, you know, going out and scanning books at a store.
Right.
I want to get, you know, different streams of income coming in, so I don't have to worry about that. But right now I'm young and I'm grinding, you know, and I think sometimes it's easy to get caught up in just like the quick dollar rather than like what happens when you step away. Are there systems in place? Do you have a business, or are you in a business? You know what I mean? Because
Right.
there's a difference between the two.
Oh, definitely a difference. And I mean, I've learned so much just from even watching. Do you watch like Gary V at all?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and I love his stuff, and I try and teach people patience as far as this goes. He's,
Yeah,
like,
exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And I feel with him when he says he's in it for the long game, like 100%. And I know that, I just know like in my soul, I'm just like, I've always been a go-getter. Like whatever I do, I just go like 100% in it. Like I wrestled for 10 years, and that was like all I ever wanted to do was wrestle. Like it was, you know, in my blood. And then boom, wrestling's over with. And now I'm like the book guy, and like I'm really just like super concentrated on this. I'm kind of becoming that way with salsa. We'll see. But like I've been salsa dancing like mad lately too. And I know that like if I get to the point where I can retire at 35 or 40 or 45, whatever it is, I know I'm not going to want to stop. That's why like books right now is just a way of creating capital, because I know I like how to do this. Like I'm really, you know, good at this. But I know that like let's say this book business is like making me X amount, like that dollar you're talking, that dollar amount you're talking about, like that end
yep.
goal. I know I'm like, it doesn't matter how much money I have, I'm gonna want to do something else with my time. Like I'm gonna want to grind in like a different way. It's just in me.
Yeah.
And that's kind of something I found out on this trip, because like there wasn't a huge need for money a lot of times, because I was like, you know, theoretically making more money than I was spending. You know how that goes. Like you go
Yep.
out and you haul like $1,000 from a Goodwill or whatever it is, like a crazy amount. But I would be like just chilling in the woods in Yosemite or something, or I'd have like these brief moments of like, well, this is what I thought I always wanted. I thought I always wanted like just this peacefulness and like just nothing happening. And um, I want a challenge is what I really want, you know?
Yeah. Oh,
That,
I'm
that's
so there with you as far as the challenge, man. I love that part.
yeah.
I guess because the reason I love asking the end goal game, and a lot of times, it's great if you want those riches, you want that big house, you want the fancy 4-car garage with your things, and that's cool. Like I respect people's hustles there as far as that goes, but like my end goal is happiness, and it's not like
Yeah.
when I approach my end goal, it's not like that's the end and I'm done. That's just okay. When I hit that end goal is, okay, just keep doing the same things. You know what I mean? But if there's food in my fridge, a roof over my head, whether it's a vehicle or a house, man, then like, I guess like that's what a lot of people don't realize. That's all you need sometimes as far as an end goal. So
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I guess like a concrete like real answer for end goal is like I want to be able to travel. I want to be able to bring my family with me and go like overseas, and that does take more money. Even
Right.
then, you could argue it doesn't take much. Like there's a website skyscanner.com, and you can get like $44 flights overseas if you're flexible with your schedule. Which I
Right.
just found out about that the other day. But you can literally get like a $44 flight to like UK
That's
from
crazy.
America. It's ridiculous. So there's no excuses on like the traveling. Like I'm not saying you need money to travel, but if you want to travel to places at specific times and bring a lot of people with you, you do need money. And that's something I've always had like a fantasy of, is like being able to bring like my mom and dad and like my kids, just take them wherever. And like what if I die, after I get married? Like I want my wife and family to be able to survive like without me. I
Yeah.
don't know. I'm thinking like 15 years down the road, or 10, 15 years down the road, I want to have something withstanding. I'm not like like Grant Cardone or Gary Vee, like these guys that are trying to like take over the world, but I do want something that's like substantial and that will be there. You know.
Yeah. No, I got you. Yeah, I
Yeah.
cringe every time I hear Gary Vee tell me he wants to take over the Jets. But that's also because I'm a Patriots fan. But I mean, that's not rather here nor there, you know.
Yeah.
All right. So I mean, so what do you think? Like, what makes you stand out from everybody else? Like, what is, what would be the reason that if there's 40 other people doing what you do, buying books, selling books, like, what would make you stand out more than everybody else?
I think I'm grittier than everyone else, or maybe like grodier is the way. I don't know. Like I can just live off of like nothing.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people are in this like, and everyone should be in business like to get rich, like that's like the goal. Like you should have huge goals for your business. But like I guess I'm like the guy that's like actually living like in his car a lot of times, and just like going to Starbucks and like getting free refills. If you bring the Starbucks cup in, you can get a free refill. I'm just like gritty like that. And at the same time, there are a lot of people like that, like me, that aren't resellers. Like I have a lot of traveling, or a good amount of traveling followers, and I follow a lot of traveling people, and like a lot of minimalist people, like van life, hashtag van life people,
Yeah.
and even like I don't know, like a lot of them are like anti-capitalism people, and I feel like I'm just like capitalist to the fucking bone sometimes. But I'm also just like, I don't know, I'm also just like walking in like a Holiday Inn, eating the free breakfast, and like
I
not caring, and like showering like behind a Goodwill or some shit, like when worst comes to worst. So I mean, I don't know. I don't believe that money. Me and Maurice were talking about this last night. I don't believe that money buys happiness, and I feel like that's a big part of the reason why I'm okay with like talking so openly about money and my goals to make money, even though it's kind of a paradox.
Yeah, no, I definitely, and I mean, I purposely try and share as much about like the money as possible, because I think everybody shares like the good days and the good crazy sales, but
Yeah.
like, nobody shares that. Honestly, so like, I know that I tried transitioning a ton more on eBay, Mercari, and stuff like that this past month. So like my sales, I'm down like 50% month on month from last month. Like I love sharing that. I almost enjoy sharing that more than like, those days where you hit like 3,000 in sales, because you're like, yeah,
Right.
it's like, because people learn so much more on like the downtime than they do on the positives.
Yeah. But you say it and you have such a positive attitude about it. So like it's gonna go up in the future, and it's
Oh
part of the
yeah,
process. Like you don't let it get to you. That's
yeah.
a big
Oh,
part of it.
I love failure. I tell people all the time. People look at me like I got 18 heads when I say it, but like I love failure, because now I've learned, don't do it that way. Don't do this.
Right.
Do it a different way. If I did something and succeeded right away, what did I learn from that? Like you didn't
Right.
learn the ins and outs. I didn't learn
That's
little
it.
like, if I did it once and it was great, cool. If I had failed 14 times before that, the one time I got it right, I could have grown 20 times more than if I got it right the first time.
Right.
So, like I applied that to like I said, Walmart. When I first started, I was like Walmart clearance. I think I bought some batteries for like 50 cents, and they were selling online for like 19.99. I didn't understand sales rank. I didn't understand, all this stuff. So I'm like, shit, I'm making like $15 a piece on these. Well,
Right.
it's gonna
Right.
take me a year and a half to sell one of them, but
Yeah. Yeah. I had a very similar experience. It was free books at my college library, And I found out about FBA, and I was like, well, shit, if they're going to pack this shit up for me and sell it, like, I'm just going to send everything in. So I went in the library, got all the free books, filled up an 80-pound box, and shipped that shit out to FBA. And I don't know how my Amazon account didn't get suspended for it.
You said
But,
one box, it was 80 pounds?
One box is 80 pounds, filled with the
Jesus.
shittiest, filled with like 13 million ranked books.
Jesus.
But I thought I was doing good. I thought I was doing good things.
Hey man, that's how it's. You know you're growing when you think you're doing good, and then you do something else, and you're like, wow, okay, like that. I shouldn't have been doing it that way.
Yeah.
Oh man,
that's basically reselling.
it really is. It's literally like reselling in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Cool. So, so I mean, other than, you've mentioned two guys, who else are like some of your biggest influencers? It doesn't have to be people that like have sold books, but like who else are your influencers that have helped you like grow to do what you wanted to do?
Yeah, most directly it's going to be Reezy and Caleb. But I mean, I consume a lot of Gary V's content. I've been listening to Dan Pena a lot lately. You know Dan Pena?
No, I don't know him.
Okay, I've been listening to him a lot lately. I listen to Joe Rogan like fucking crazy. And then Tim Ferriss. Tim Ferriss is a big one. Like I could go on all fucking day. Like I consume a ton of content. But yeah, I mean those are the main ones right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now my curiosity question: when you're scanning, are you listening to music, podcasts, or anything, or are you just like 100% like focused when you're scanning?
No, I'm not 100% focused. I'm way worse than I should be with scanning, but I set my floor profit pretty high, and I know I'm definitely leaving some things on the shelf, but like I'm just literally trying to get the most scans possible, and I know I'll drive myself crazy if I look at the Scout IQ app all day. So I just scan, and I'll in the morning I'll listen to like a Joe Rogan podcast, or most of the time in the morning like an audiobook. Like if I'm really trying to focus, like I've been listening, um, Dale Carnegie, those type of books, Anthony Robbins, some like motivational type shit, or some like direct like business, like where I can actually implement something, or just a cool book. And but after 3:00 for some reason I can't listen to it anymore, and so then I'll ease into like a Joe Rogan podcast instead of an audiobook, and then towards the end of the day it's got to be like salsa music or like Drake or some rap, like whatever it is.
Okay.
At the end of the day I'm just fucking done.
Yeah.
So I got to put something easy on.
Yeah. See, I need more upbeat towards the end of the day to keep me going. So, I'm freaking with my get up by like 7 a.m. and I'm in my shop till like 10, 11 o'clock at night. So like I need that upbeat stuff at the end of the day.
Right.
So cool, man. Well, I don't want to take up any more of your time. I appreciate the knowledge, sharing the info.
I appreciate you, man. This is awesome.
Yeah, no, definitely. So, was actually, let me ask this. I meant to ask this just like a personal question. Was Reezy your first like video interview you had done, or have you done?
2 weeks ago, Greg Murphy. Do you know who Greg Murphy is?
Name sounds super familiar.
He's a big time bulk bookseller. But I posted a video of me taking an ice bath and on Facebook. And Greg Murphy, I've actually tried sliding in his. It's not called DMs on Facebook, but his PMs, whatever the hell it's called.
Yeah, private message.
Yeah. And he just he straight up left me on red like 2 or 3 times. And then he saw that video of me where I was like literally like the ice was like that thick, and I stayed in it for 5 minutes. And he commented, he was like, Jesus Christ or something. And then like 2 days later, he he asked me to be on his show. And then when I was on his show, it's funny. When I was on his show, he said you should try and separate your personal stuff from your business. But like the whole reason why he found me was because I put the personal video of me on like my Avery Will Buy Your Books page. So
yeah,
I'm still debating with that. I definitely think I should separate my reseller brand, which I've done, with my I Want Your Books brand. Like I have a different Instagram account for that, and I have a different Facebook for that now. But as far as like my personal life goes and my reseller stuff, I don't know if I should separate that. It's something I've been dealing with, and I mean, maybe your followers could comment below what they think. But like, should I be posting that I'm going salsa dancing, with whoever I went scouting with for the day,
right?
Or should I just 100% have Romer the Roamer, and and then create Avery Romer Martin for a separate account. Because right now I use Instagram for reselling and personal, like the two just mix.
Right.
And I think it works in a good way, but I'm pulling away from asking for my friends' books more. That used to be like the whole reason why I posted on Instagram about books was because I wanted my friends' books.
Right.
Like because
No,
all my friends are college students, you know, so they have like the most expensive books in America. So
yeah, I don't miss those bills.
You said what?
I said I don't miss those bills. Those are
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah. No, I'll post that. I'll put up. I'll make a little clip as far as you asking that and kind of seeing. So if it was my vote, I love that you posted other stuff. You know what I mean? It adds to your personality. You know, like you're this like hardcore book scanner, but then like you know how to enjoy life. You know, like because I think a lot of people have trouble kind of separating like the business life and some people just on their business accounts they're like hardcore all the time and this is me scanning books. If you're not scanning 8,000 books a day, like you're not cutting it. Like, that's it. You know what I mean? So I like it. You know, I'll definitely put a poll up, man. But like, I like seeing the different things. And like, I was dying when you like cut Reezy off last night, and you were like, "Hey, man, like this girl's messaging me. I gotta go pick her up."
Yeah, it's real life. I mean, like one of the like I consume a lot of Gary Vee's content, and I haven't been lately, but like I've listened to Crush It like 1.5 times. And one of the big things I like that he said is, you know, a lot of people complain about making content being hard. And he's like, just take out the camera and record your life. That's it.
Yeah.
Like if the shit, the most scalable shit is like your actual life. So like, if like, I'm not going to front, yeah, I'm not making money when I salsa dance, but that's the truth. You know? Yeah, I'm not making money when I have a terrible fucking day and I get like 5 books, but that's the truth. Yes, I just hauled 500 books and they're probably worth, you know, $2,000 to $4,000. Do I look like an asshole? Do I look like a douchebag to my high school friends when I'm like, yeah, I just got $4,000 in my car? Probably, but it's the fucking truth. All these things are the truth. So it like whatever the truth is, I'm just gonna take my camera out because then it's easy. You know, like if I'm feeling nervous one day, I'll put it on the camera. I'm feeling nervous. If I'm feeling confident, I'm feeling confident. You know, just take it as it is. Like whatever I say is what I say because I take out the camera. And if it's exhausting if you try to be somebody, because if you try to be somebody, it's like, okay, like you see like those girls in like, you know, at a club or something, and you know that they're just doing it for the snap. And like they'll get like all hype and stuff for the snap, and then the snap's over with, and like they just like sit back down and start drinking, or maybe like they're all looking at the phone and like typing it in. And it's like, did you just do that for the camera? That's got to be fucking exhausting.
Oh yeah, it definitely is. You know, if you're not real, it's an exhausting life because you set this mentality, and same people with us. If you post nothing but like, oh, I made it, you know, I did 2,000 in sales a day, and 3 days later I did 2,000 today. We don't see your shitty days. You know, if we ever talk, we're gonna expect that you're doing $2,000 every single day from then on.
Yeah, it's exhausting, you know, but the truth isn't, because the truth just is. So.
Yeah, no, I learned a long time ago, and I'll probably credit my mother for this one, that if you never lie, you don't have to remember anything.
Right.
So it's good, man. But all right, brother. Well, hey, I will let you get to your salsa for the night.
Hell yeah.
Let me know when you start to monetize that. When you figure out how to do that, man. There's a lot of respect there.
Hell yeah. I'll be a salsa instructor. Stop selling books. You're just going to see salsa videos all the time. Have to change.
Yeah, here you go. You got to integrate your book selling videos on YouTube and your salsa like dancing.
Hey, I actually have a SKU dedicated to this girl that gave me a salsa book. Or she didn't give it to me. I bought it from her. But like Salsa Hannah is like the SKU. So
okay. There you go. Actually, that's another question real quick if you don't mind. So I started doing this. So I just got a repricer because I've been doing a little bit more books. Like a lot of my RA stuff, like I like repricing myself. But I got a repricer for like some of the books and some of like, you know, my refillables. How important so I started doing my own SKUs as far as that goes because it's obviously super easy. You said you use a repricer, correct?
Yes. Or okay. Kind of. Oh, let me ask you this: are you using Extraordinaire?
No, I use Reprice It.
Well, okay. So to list your books, though, what are you doing?
Inventory Lab.
Okay. Are you having custom SKUs be made, or are you typing in all these SKUs yourself?
No, so I'm just doing like random SKUs for my books, and then all the rest of the stuff, like I'll literally label like my toys. I'll do toy, whatever it is. So like kitchen stuff, I'll do kitchen, whatever it is. So then with reprice it, I can literally go through and I think it's called a wild card and reprice it, where
Yeah,
I can
yeah.
I can just don't do toys, don't do kitchen, don't do baby. So it literally just leaves just the
Gotcha.
books
Okay,
left.
that makes sense. Yeah. So keep doing that. But are you asking repricing?
What is,
Is
I guess,
it
so my question is more like, what is the value to you to like creating your own SKUs versus not creating your own SKUs, and like how is that beneficial to you?
okay? Creating my own SKUs is great for just like personal, you know, uh, keeping track, because I use Caleb Roth's spreadsheet. So do you know how that works? Are you familiar with his spreadsheet?
I looked at it real quick.
His
Again, I mean,
spreadsheet,
I
his
guess
spreadsheet's
I haven't
he's
taken a lot of Caleb's material, just not doing, I guess, a lot of books. So
Gotcha. Yeah, his spreadsheet's magical. But no matter what the SKU is, it could be like one of my SKUs is Drew sucks balls. It's my cousin. Drew sucks balls. And that was back when I didn't know what the fuck I was doing when I was making SKUs. But that was one of my SKUs. And but what Caleb Ross spreadsheet does is, it doesn't matter if the SKU is X Y Z. If I got the book from Maine, it's gonna have Maine as a source. Or maybe I'm doing a consignment with a college. I'll put the college as a source, so I can type in the college, and it's separate from the SKU. But it's also really nice to have it worked into the SKU, kind of like what you're doing. And now I use custom SKUs to where like the source is the first part of the SKU, and you only can have a SKU that's 40 characters in length, by the way. Don't go over
okay,
that.
this is
Like,
actually good to know.
yeah, it'll screw it up. So if you have like super long, like deep, like if you type in goodwill and then you have a bunch of other long shit, it's not gonna let you list it with these third party softwares. It's gonna come up with an error. But yeah, I have source, and then I have my buy cost. So it's like, let's say Goodwill Berry Hill for Nashville. So GWBH dash 1.5. That's how much I spent on it. Dash 218 or 219. February 19. And then I also do dash, it auto generate. All of this is auto generated. It does dash 001, and that way it keeps that 001 keeps it in order if I want to print labels in order. So that's very helpful. I don't know if Inventory Lab does that. Acceleralist integrated that a couple of months ago,
Okay.
but for guys that use 30 up label sheets, it's very important to have 001 at the end all the way through 300 or whatever. So
Right.
All that stuff's very important, and and I do TXT SKUs like you're saying. So TXT for textbooks. So
Yep.
if I want to reprice textbooks differently, um, the wild card will catch on to that. Or if I'm just using, like right now I'm using Excel sheets to reprice. So it's the same shit. I can say anything that starts with these three letters, I want you to reprice differently, and it's a whole different ballgame what you're dealing with, because books turn way slower, than like Nike shoes, or like a lot of the stuff you're like retail arbitrage type shit. Um, so from what I've heard, you have to reprice more aggressively, because I only reprice every 2 weeks. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, I definitely. So there's certain things, especially with like, and I'll label things a little bit different as far as my SKUs, and I'll go through and probably once a week I'll almost go through and purposely reprice individual items, because you can like obviously exclude items, do individual item settings, and so I'm super aggressive if I'm getting something on clearance, because I know that market's going to get super saturated super quick.
Gotcha. Smart.
Where if it's a regular carried item, especially where I'll look at the Keepa and I'll look at the graph, and if it's something where there's been 3 to 6 sellers for a year, I'm not worried about it. I'll match the buy box, I'll set a minimum, but it really doesn't need to be too aggressive.
And you could even do you work that in your SKU like that? Like how aggressively you want to price it? Like maybe toys A is like toys aggressive, or toys, P is toys passive. Do you do anything like that, just to like let yourself mentally know you don't have to look at the Keepa every single time?
No, I haven't. I guess, I mean, like, I love numbers, so I guess I've always been pretty decent with numbers. That's like my forte. So literally what I'll do is, so with mine, I don't let it reprice anything until 14 days. of being listed. And then what I do is my normal routine is every single Monday I'll go through and anything I added last week, I'll set minimum and maximum prices on it. And I'll know that, I'm cool with already going down to, this set amount where that's either, my minimum, which I'll try and get at least 20% ROI is my like bare minimum. And, I'm looking for a normal like 100% ROI. So like, I guess I'm just with the RA items, I definitely do a lot of focus on my min and max prices. And with RA items, I literally have it rechecks my prices every 2 hours. So like I have mine set up at 2:30, 4:30, 6:30, 8:30, 10:30. Like it goes through reprices that often.
There's some that do it way more than that. I know there's some that do it like every minute or every second. But I mean, like Caleb Roth said, I trust everything that guy says for the most part. But he talks about just how books just turn slower. So like it's not a huge deal if you're listed at $18 and someone undercuts you to $17.99. Like let them sell out first. Like, don't engage in the price war to the bottom, because then you're going to end up selling the book for $12 when you could have just waited and sold it for $18.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I guess especially where, books a lot of the time aren't taking, I mean, obviously eFlip, you're going to be paying a little bit more, but like, stuff we get at like Goodwill, Savers, that kind of stuff, you're paying a lot of the times a lot cheaper than like an RA item. Cause like I had something, there was a book I got at the by the pound. My average cost ended up being like 38 cents a book. So I got the book for 38 cents. It was selling, the comps were showing around like $199.99 because it was like a chemistry book or whatever it was. And there was like 3 people at $129 and $139. It was trying to reprice it, and I'm like, no, let's keep it at the $199. I think I waited like 5 weeks, and it sold the $199.99.
It's such a good feeling. Like when you knew it was gonna happen, and then you like open up your seller app and you see that it actually happened. Like it's the difference between like $70, just like that.
Oh yeah, exactly. Especially when I'm paying 38 cents, I'm more than willing to wait an extra 2.5 weeks to make $70 versus to make $30 on a night. Like that extra $30 difference.
Yeah.
Cool. So,
all right, brother.
I kid. I've tried to say goodbye like 14 times, but like my brain always moves, man. So I always got questions.
It's been a good length. I think this is a perfect length.
Yeah.
If your followers want to catch up with me, it's RomerTheRoamer. That's my Instagram, YouTube. I also have a website, averybuysbooks.com/tools. I talk about everything you need to know about buying and selling books, and I'm always beefing it up. So if you guys want to shoot me a DM with what I need to add to it, questions, I'm more than willing to like expand everything on that website. So this is kind of like a free template with my affiliate links scattered about, but the affiliate links are actually things I use. So, I mean, I'm making money off of it if you use the software I recommend. If not, so what? You're not invited to my birthday party. But it's all free content, and it's all good and it's all real. Like I don't have a huge following yet, so like I need a reason to like prove myself. So like I'm putting it all out there. So that's averybuysbooks.com/tools. If you just go to averybuysbooks.com, you're going to go to my actual book selling website where you can enter your ISBNs and sell books to me. So it's geared more towards like the general public. So
yeah,
make sure you enter that /tools. But that's it.
Cool, man. Hey, I love it. Love the info, man. Love the knowledge. Love the hustle, kid.
Hell yeah. I appreciate you, man.
Hey, absolutely, man. I'm sure we'll be chatting soon.
All right. Yeah. Peace out.